So next up we have each candidate in the same order answering the question that they received in advance of the night's hustings, and if you didn't see the question on Facebook, it'll be up on the screen as each candidate is answering the question. So go ahead, Ciara.
As you're all aware, Sinn Fein is committed to giving workers of all ages better pay and working conditions. And obviously we're all aware that our younger workers, I myself worked in the hospitality sector from the age of 15 to I was 30, with regards to paying, our younger people are lower paying jobs and really insecure hours. And once again, with regards to insecure jobs, we all know, and particularly women here and those with a disability, etc., more women are in part-time, temporary, zero-hour contract jobs than ever. So it's critical for us as a woman as well. We are very happy obviously to work with the Trade Unions Council. As we know, just in a personal capacity, we would have seen the decline over the last 15, 20 years. I'm old enough to be there with the recession. I'm old enough, going back in the early 90s, collective bargaining has, in my opinion, basically has mirrored the low pay of workers and the precarious work that we've had. We need to have a strong trade union movement with collective bargaining and with our employers. I think that's one of the key and most effective ways of improving pay as well and guaranteeing working conditions. And we can see that in our Nordic countries where they've high community bargaining powers. And obviously a society that's far more equal. So essentially, obviously, with regards to the Derry Trade Union Council and other trade unions, I'm very keen to be working with them to campaign for better paying conditions for our workers. And we recognise that 20% of our workers here across the north are paid below the living wage. That is certainly not good enough and it's totally unacceptable. And we have, Sinn Fein, joined the Better Work, Better Lives campaign, which calls for a fair day's pay for a fair day's work. And as you're well aware, obviously, we're very key in bringing the living wage. Conor Murphy's on. We have to show leadership within the government. Conor Murphy, and even in my previous job as a community development worker, I was up with Conor Murphy and the Central Procurement Directive on behalf of our local people, our local workers, demanding that he reviews all of it and ensure that the living wage needs to be delivered here in the north. And he has delivered on that, and that will take place come June of this year. We argue for minimum wage powers to be transferred. They need to be transferred to the north from Westminster. That is critical if we're going to make a difference. It was guaranteed in the New Approach Agreement, and we want to see this delivered. We need to agree a new model that guarantees at least the living wage for all our workers. We've also made the case for investing. You know that it's under review. The public money needs to be invested in creating decent, well-paid jobs. That's what we're all, and we all need to work collectively, all parties to work collectively to deliver on that. Sinn Fein has called for government action and policy that should encourage and ultimately ensure the private sector become living wage employers, not just the public sector, but the private sector. And I would urge all our social partners with this new employment model. For a simple thing, we can audit all employers across the north who are currently not delivering the living wage. Let's support them. The government can support those employers to enable them to do it through training, financial aid, wage relief. It's simple, we can do it, the information is there. Let's make politics work by working together. That's what I'm about. I've worked in the community sector across this city for the last 20 plus years. I've worked in every community for all the people here to deliver a better quality of life. So essentially, that's me. This is who you're getting. Sinn Fein is there to work for you as workers and obviously our families. To ensure we have a decent living wage, that our families don't need to be going to food banks. I have delivered a food bank for the last 12 years. I don't want to see more food banks. I want to see the end of food banks in this city. And that's what we should all collectively, as all parties, working collectively together on. And that's what myself and particularly Sinn Fein will be in the Assembly working with all the progressive parties to deliver for you, your family and your kids. Thank you.